Ahoy lads, Sam here with another episode teaching you how to PvP in Dark Souls 3. I want to start moving this series towards a more moderate to advanced level of play, focusing this episode on unlocked play and backstabs. Always being locked on to your opponent puts you at a strong disadvantage, especially against good players. Being unlocked has a lot of advantages. You don't always want to use it. You want to be locked on when you're using weapons that have good tracking, like a halberd or a poke from an S-stock. But even with those weapons, there's going to be times where you want to be unlocked. Being unlocked allows you to spam weapons like a straight sword and be less likely to be parried if you swing like left to right unlocked, because the hit comes in at a different time and messes up the time for a parry with a parry shield, a medium shield, or say a cestus. Another key advantage of being unlocked is that you can actually see what's around you very well. It helps keep up your awareness. You unlock and look for your opponents. A lot of the time with multiple opponents, they'll try and sneak up behind you. Being unlocked can allow you to look around for just a minute. Even if you lock on immediately afterwards to pick a target, unlocking to increase your awareness is really important. Unlocked play also allows you to get much easier backstabs. Specifically, I'll be looking at pivot backstabs, forward roll punishes, backstep backstabs, rolling backstabs, and last reverse roll backstabs. And I'll explain what each one of those are. The first type of backstab that I'm going to show you is called a pivot backstab. It's simply a backstab where you run around behind somebody and backstab them. Pay close attention to when I'm locked on and when I'm unlocked in this clip. So I end up seeing two opponents, and one of them has a weapon that I often backstab against, so I unlock, pull out my spear, and run around behind him and backstab him. Now the reason I pull out the spear is because it has a quicker backstab grab than other weapons like an axe or an ultra greatsword. At the time, I probably also unlocked, since I saw another opponent coming in, just to make sure there wasn't somebody else behind him. The next type of backstab that I'm going to show you is something called a forward roll punish. So if somebody rolls in against you and you're unlocked versus locked on, you still could accomplish this while locked on. Any of these you can accomplish while locked on, but being unlocked is going to make it easier and more successful. When they roll in, you're positioned behind them, so you'll be able to backstab them even as they're coming out of the roll, as long as your positioning is perfect or near perfect. Next up, we have a backstep backstab. So what that is, it's when you stop moving, you're standing still, facing away from your opponent, and you backstep right behind them, and you'll be able to backstab them. It works particularly good if your opponent stops right behind you trying to backstab you or take a regular swing. It's not quite as good if somebody is chasing you with a spear or an ultra greatsword and they do a running attack, because you will probably miss, and in that circumstance, if you can predict the running attack, it's better if you're unlocked to just run right behind them, and as they do the running attack, they'll move forward and you can backstab them. And then we have the rolling backstab, which is where you roll behind your opponent, you pull yourself towards their back, and you R1 is immediately once you get out of your roll. It works particularly well against larger weapons, but it can be done against smaller ones. And lastly, perhaps most stylishly, we have something called a reverse roll backstab. It's very similar to a rolling backstab, except you'll face backwards as soon as you come out of the roll rather than having to pull towards your opponent. It works particularly well against something like a greatsword user. Well, that about does it for this episode in the series. If you like this series and want to see more of it or any of my other Dark Souls content, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to continue this series. I'm not sure what I'll do next. I'll think of something or else leave me a comment. Thanks for watching.